Sometimes you just need a break. How's everybody doing? I'm Jay Elson, and this is Coyote Corner. On the heels of their second straight heartbreaking loss at North Dakota State, the USD men received a much-needed weekend off. Craig Smith's team used that time to rest and refocus. And Wednesday, they hope to see it all pay off against Western Illinois, which came in as the only winless team in the Summit League. Casey Kasperbauer and the Coyotes hoping to snap their three-game skid with a fourth straight win over the Leathernecks. They got off to a slow start offensively, but this helps wake them up. Kasperbauer, the alley-oop to Tyler Flack. That put USD in front by 1. WIU gets the lead back before the half, though. Garrett Covington with the steal. Ahead to J.C. Fuller for the lay-in. Leathernecks by 5 at the break. It extend that to 10 early in the second half, but that's when momentum did a complete 180. Trey Burnett with a great look to Austin Sparks, and it's 50-45 Western. A couple possessions later, DJ Davis finds Flack. He gets the bump and the bucket. Three-point play puts South Dakota up 1. Flack had a season-high 9 points off the bench. And folks, they were just getting started. Out of a timeout, Kasperbauer catches fire. He hits from way outside here. And next time down, shakes his defender and buries the J. Kasperbauer scored 8 straight and 15 over a span of 8 minutes and 44 seconds to fuel a 29-5 South Dakota run. And the Coyotes get back into the win column, 76-67. Kasperbauer led all scores with 26, which included a 6-for-8 mark from outside. Trey Burnett added 14 points, 13 rebounds for his fourth double-double.
We knew coming into this week that it would be a great win to have coming into SDSU. So we were just working extra and just holding everybody accountable. I think everybody played a part today.
South Dakota looking to replicate that effort Saturday against SDSU in what was the final meeting between the rivals inside the Dakota Dome. All Coyotes early on, thanks in large part to the play of their bench. Dan Jack off a nice feed from Trey Norris. And Norris wasn't done. Later, he finds Tyler Flack. Oh my. Norris, the alley, Flack, the oop. Coyote reserves scored 18 in the first half to help the team build as much as an 11-point lead. Jacks worked their way back before the break. George Marshall pours in 9 straight to help SDSU get within 4, 32-28 at the half. And State stays hot to start the second. DeAndre Parks with his first points of the day. He finished with 8, half of his season average. Fortunately for them, Mike Dahm was there to pick up the slack. The big man hits a 3. Jack stretched the lead to as much as 9. Back come the Yotes. Trey Burnett, the bump and the bucket. Free throw was no good, so the game stays tied at 56. Just over a minute later, though, South Dakota completes the comeback. Norris slices to the rim to put the Coyotes up 61-60. The lead would last a matter of seconds. Jake Biddle right back for SDSU and 1. Biddle finished with 21. Later, it's Dom again. His fourth 3 of the day proves to be the dagger. The redshirt freshman matches his career high with 23 points to go along with 11 rebounds. And South Dakota State escapes Vermillion with a 79-75 win. The Jackrabbits putting up 51 points in the second half. They hit 9 threes for the day. Kasperbauer scored 14 to lead the Coyotes, who fall to 10-11 overall and 2-5 in the Summit League. Now, Craig Smith and the Coyotes will settle for the split, but the head coach says his team missed an opportunity to gain some extra ground in the Summit League. Find out exactly where he thinks they came up short right after this.
Coyote Corner on Midcoast Sports Network is presented by Dakota Land Honda.
And welcome back to Coyote Corner once again. Jay Elson, Craig Smith, head coach of the USD men. And Craig, you said last week that your guys needed to get off the schneid. That's using your term. And you wanted to do that against Western Illinois. But things did not get off to a great start offensively. What were the issues early on against the Leathernecks?
Well, there's quite a few things. The ball was sticking, you know what I mean? When you play motion like we do, we really try to get a lot of ball reversals and quick ball reversals. And we just looked stagnant. We looked like we'd been rusty and off for a week.
Sure.
You know, and so we were very tentative, not aggressive. And that's a recipe for disaster on the offensive end especially.
Yeah, you trailed by as many as 10 early in the second half, but that's when your team put together one of the more impressive runs I think anybody's ever going to see. 29-5 over a span of about 9 minutes. I know Casey Kasperbauer had a lot to do with it, but this was about more than just hot shooting, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought, we were on our heels, like you said, most of the first half, and we started pressing, and generally speaking, pressing gets you have to work hard, or you're going to look really, really foolish. And it got us off our heels, it got us into attack mode, created some easy turnovers, which led into some easy baskets, and then certainly in the half court, Kasperbauer, got on one of those runs that he's capable of getting on, and it just gets the crowd into it, gets our guys really into it, and we were able to carry that forward to the victory.
Yeah, the run takes you from down 10 to up 14. You end up winning by 9, but afterward you kind of indicated you would have liked to have seen a bit stronger of a finish. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I mean, we were just kind of hanging on, it felt like. We got to learn to finish games when we have a lead. You get to that point where you're up double digits, and we got to make our free throws down the stretch, but we just got to keep playing. We just start kind of standing, we get really stagnant, and then we kind of take some tougher shots to end the clock. And that's on me as a coach to put our guys in more of those situations in practice.
Well, you get the win. It gives you a little momentum heading into Saturday's matchup with South Dakota State, obviously a big one. And you couldn't have asked for a much better start in this game, kind of the polar opposite of what you saw on Wednesday.
Yeah, tremendous energy in the dome that night. Our guys were really pumped up. We jumped out right away and were very, very aggressive. I thought we were excellent defensively. Now, they missed some shots, but I think they started out the game 4 for 19, and we did a heck of a job on our game plan up to that point. And then late in the first half, Marshall kind of got loose. I think he scored 9 in a row to end the half in the last 2:30 or so. And that really propelled them going into the second half. I thought that going into halftime, they were pretty fortunate to only be down 4 because it felt like we controlled the half. And then the start of the second half, they proceed to score on their first 4 possessions where we don't get a stop. And I think Kasperbauer drilled a really tough shot, and that was our lone score in the first 6 possessions. So they really were able to extend some things that way.
Credit to your guys, though. They got down, never quit, tied it up 4 more times, even took the lead briefly with just under 7 minutes to play. But you mentioned Biddle, Mike Dom had a huge day for them. They managed to do enough down the stretch to get the win.
Yeah, the second half for them, it was the Biddle and Dom show. There's no question about it. Those 2 guys really carried them. We tie it up there's 3:29 to go, and we're in a zone which we had 2 stops previously on the 2 previous possessions, and Moffitt takes a tough shot. But Moffitt, to his credit, he's a Gator guy. He's super aggressive, makes big plays at big times, chases down his miss, gets the offensive board over one of our big guys, kicks it to Biddle, who makes a really tough kind of mid-range shot to put him up 2. We miss a shot, and they come down, and Dom hits a dagger 3 to put him up 5 with just under 2 to go. And we got to finish. I mean, we had ample opportunities. We missed so many free throws. In particular in the second half, where it was, we missed 3 front ends, 2 in the first half, 1 in the second half, and then it was 1 for 2, 1 for 2, 0 for 2, 1 for 2, 1 for 2. And when your margin for error isn't as good, you got to take advantage of those opportunities, and we didn't.
All right, well, you fall 79-75. This week coming up, a couple games on the road at Denver, at Omaha, so we certainly wish you safe travels, and we'll see you back here next week.
Thank you, Jay.
All right, thanks, Craig. Well, the USD women were looking to build on their win in Brookings, and they did it in a big way against Fort Wayne. Highlights from their matchup with the Mastodons coming up next.
Coyote Corner on Midcoast Sports Network is presented by Dakota Land Honda.
Well, when you win somewhere for the first time in 26 years, it's natural to want to take some time to enjoy it. The trick is finding a way to harness that excitement. That's the situation the South Dakota women found themselves in last week as they attempted to build on their win in Brookings against Fort Wayne. The Coyotes had won 5 straight against the Dons coming in, and they got off to another fast start. Taya Heemiller was getting after it on the defensive end. Steal and the score for 4. The Yotes forced 5 first-quarter turnovers, led by 14 after 1. Dons come alive to start the second, though. Courtney Ogle can really shoot it. She drops back-to-back trays to help Fort Wayne climb back within 6. Ogle hit 5 threes on the night. Yotes regained control before the half. Nicole Seacamp, nifty little up and under there. And the next time down, 35, cans the triple. South Dakota closed the half on a 16-2 run. IPFW mounts another charge in the third, though. Camila Carter connects from downtown. She had 11. Dons cut that 20-point halftime deficit to 9 at one point, but it was all South Dakota from there. Seacamp with another 3. She scored 19 to move past Amber Heggie for second place on USD's all-time scoring list. Coyotes outscore Fort Wayne 37-14 over the final 13 minutes and cruise to their fourth straight win, 92-60. And in addition to Seacamp's 19, the Coyotes got 11 apiece from He Miller and Kelly Stewart. They also scored 30 points off 20 IPFW turnovers.
You know, everyone's got the hype of the SDSU game being that big game, and then coming to this kind of game and, you know, not playing to our strengths and playing personnel like we did last game. But so we knew that, and that's why I think we came out. We were a little rough to start off with, but once we settled into the game, I think our defense was, you know, just as good as last game.
Amy Williams and company would face a much bigger test Saturday against IUPUI. Seacamp picked up right where she left off Thursday. Nice finish in transition. Coyotes jumped out to an 8-2 lead. Jags come alive from there. Kelsey Bird, a nice spark off the bench for them. She connects for 3 here, and in the second quarter, it's Bird again. Same spot, same result. She finished with 10. Jags led 28-25 at the half. Yotes would trail by as many as 8 in the third quarter, but Bridget Arns buries the jumper just before the buzzer. That caps an 8-0 South Dakota run, and we go to the fourth, tied at 44. That's where Seacamp absolutely took over. Never one afraid to share 35. Seacamp finds Margaret McLeod for the easy lay-in. Then she sets up Kelly Stewart for 3. South Dakota leads 53-50 at that point. But there would be just one Coyote in double figures on this day, and that was Seacamp. She scored 12 of her game-high 24 in the fourth quarter, and that was enough to lead her team to the victory. South Dakota rallies past IUPUI 65-59. In addition to those 24 points, Seacamp added 5 assists, 5 steals, and 2 rebounds as the Coyotes improved to 15-5 on the season. They're now 6-1 in the Summit League and remain tied with South Dakota State and Oral Roberts for first place. IUPUI drops 2 games off the pace. South Dakota's next opponent, Western Illinois, also at 4-3. Now, defense continues to be a focal point for South Dakota, and while Amy Williams believes her team is heading in the right direction, she says there's still plenty to fix. We'll talk about that and more with the Coyotes head coach when we come back.
Coyote Corner on Midcoast Sports Network is presented by Dakota Land Honda.
And welcome back to Kyle Corner. Jay Elson joined now by head coach of the USD women, Amy Williams. And Amy, I know coming off that win over South Dakota State, you have to follow it up. I mean, as big as it was, it's not going to mean as much if you're not able to continue that momentum rolling forward. And you got your chance Thursday night against Fort Wayne. And going into that game, how much had you reminded your team of the fact that win over SDSU is in the rearview mirror?
Well, I mean, it's something that we did have to just address with our team. I think that our team has really done a great job of buying in this year to the most important game on our schedule is the next game. And I think as exciting as that win was at South Dakota State, they knew already, and we just reminded them kind of briefly that it really means nothing if you don't bounce back and take care of business on your home court. And to have to go up against a really tough Fort Wayne team where they force the most turnovers of anybody in our league was kind of a scary opponent to follow that game up with.
Well, offensively, there were not a lot of issues for you in this game. You shot 53%, you hit 11 threes, also finished with 25 assists on 34 made baskets. How pleased were you with the effort on that end of the floor?
I was pleased, and I think, while that was outstanding to see us play well offensively and shoot the ball well, but the biggest thing is just to be able to continue to make strides forward defensively, and I thought our team did that on occasion. We let one of their players, Ogle, who's a very good shooter, kind of get loose a little bit there in the first half, but I thought we did a much better job kind of locking down and sticking to our game plan and making some steps forward defensively.
Big milestone in this game. Nicole Seacamp scores 19 points to pass her former teammate Amber Heggie for second all-time on the Coyotes scoring list. It's Just another feather in the cap for number 35, right?
Wow, I mean, just to be, talking about her with Amber Hagee, I mean, those are just tremendous basketball players that have worn the Coyote uniform, and so a great accomplishment for Nicole, and I think just furders how special she is as a player.
Absolutely. Well, you get the win there. You move on to Saturday, and a very tough IUPUI team. Jags, took the Jackrabbits to double overtime on Thursday at Frost Arena. This is another team that forces a lot of turnovers. I thought, though, in the first half of this game, it was the unforced errors that really plagued you.
Yeah, I mean, we had 12 turnovers that kind of just shows maybe a little bit of jitters or something. We just kind of were maybe letting their pressure get to us and having some uncharacteristic, unforced turnovers that we really need to clean up.
They're down 3 at the break. It was tied 44 at the end of the third quarter. That's where Nicole started to do her thing yet again. Scores 12 of her game-high 24 points over the final 10 minutes. She completely took over.
Yeah, I think, she scored some huge baskets and made big buckets when we needed them, but just having the ball in her hands in that fourth quarter, she made some great plays. She found Kelly Stewart for a big bucket in the corner. She didn't just make baskets. She found ways to kind of control the game for us, and it was a great finish and great fourth quarter for her.
2 games on the schedule this week for you at Western Illinois on Wednesday, then come back to face North Dakota State on Saturday. The challenges just keep coming.
They do. I mean, it just doesn't get any easier. And you watch, Western Illinois, it's just a very difficult matchup. They've got everybody that they put on the floor can really shoot it, so they just spread the floor out. They're very good about attacking and creating shots. A very high-powered offense that we're going to face, so it's going to be a tough road challenge. All
right. Well, good luck to you, and we'll see you Saturday. That game live on Midcoast Sports Network, and we'll see you back here again next Monday.
Sounds good, Jay.
All right, thanks, Amy. Well, after an up-and-down freshman season, DJ Davis has made huge strides as a sophomore. Find out what drives the Coyotes' top defender next.
Coyote Corner on Midcoast Sports Network is presented by Dakota Land Honda.
And welcome back. Well, DJ Davis is just halfway into his sophomore season on the USD men's basketball team, but he's already become a vital part of the Coyotes' backcourt. For more on him, here's Alex Heiner.
DJ Davis has been a big part of USD's success this season. The 6'4" guard is just a sophomore, but he's started every game but one for Craig Smith this year, averaging 9 points and 4 rebounds a contest to go along with outstanding defense. So it might surprise you that even with success coming relatively early in his Coyote career, DJ is still playing the game with a chip on his shoulder, the same way he's done it for years.
Since I was started high school, I've always been like the rankings in Minnesota. I was never listed high. I was always way at the bottom and stuff like that. So that always motivated me to just work harder and just to stay in the gym and just keep getting better.
He's had to earn everything he's gotten. Being a player in Minneapolis, he was never one of the most highly touted guys.
Despite averaging 22 points for Kennedy High in the Twin Cities during an all-state senior season, Division I schools weren't exactly lining up with scholarship offers. Just more motivation for Davis.
Like sometimes I would talk to myself while I was playing, like, you don't have any offers. I didn't get my first offer until my senior year.
Enter the University of South Dakota. Craig Smith had been hired on as the Yotes head coach in March, and 3 of his assistants were quick to let him know about the 6'4" guard from Minneapolis they'd each been recruiting while at previous schools.
Quite frankly, he had connections to all 3 assistant coaches that we hired. When all 3 of them were fired up about him and everything they were saying coincided, it was really a pretty simple decision for me as the head coach in knowing where we're trying to go.
After visiting campus, Davis committed to play his college ball at South Dakota. After finding a spot in the rotation early in his freshman season, Davis slowly saw his minutes diminish as the year went on.
Well, he played a decent amount early, and then just things, as a true freshman, you go through your ups and downs.
Yeah, it was definitely difficult at first, but then, I talked to a lot of my old coaches and my mom and everybody, and they just told me stay patient and stick with it.
That patience and a lot of hard work have paid off. Davis has gone from averaging 9 minutes a game last season to just under 30 this year.
I think he took some things really to heart last year, and he had a tremendous summer this year, and you can see how it's translated over to the season?
I would say the difference is I'm way more confident in myself. I obviously had to prove to the coaches that I could shoot the ball. I really worked on my ball handling as much as I could.
Along with polishing his offensive game, Davis has carved out his spot on this Yote team with his defense.
Well, first of all, he wants to be a great defender. I think it's a mindset. You know, he takes a lot of pride in that end of the floor.
You got to have that passion about it. Like it has to come from in here. Like you can't do it sometimes and it has to be all day.
Davis's all-day attitude has Coyote fans excited for what the future might hold. And if he keeps that chip on his shoulder, who's to say how good he can become?
Time will tell. I mean, he certainly has the talent and ability, but it's all about continually proving yourself and continually having the mindset of earning it. And he's done that his whole life, and we don't expect anything to change.
Now, the most telling part about that interview with DJ, we asked him what his goals were, and he immediately said win the league and make the NCAA tournament. No mention of personal achievement. It's really all about the team with this young man, Jay.
Thanks, Alex. Well, Davis and the Coyotes will be on the road for a pair of games this week. They'll be at Denver on Thursday, then face a quick turnaround for Saturday's matchup against league-leading Omaha. Meanwhile, the women will visit Western Illinois on Wednesday before returning home to take on North Dakota State. We will have that game live for you right here on Midcoast Sports Network with coverage starting at 4:30. All right, that is our time for this week. For Alex Heinert, I'm Jay Elson. We'll see you Saturday for Coyote Hoops.